Here with Kurt Rambis, the newest Lakers assistant coach, of course, a face quite familiar to this organization. Kurt, what was the biggest reason that you came back now to be an assistant coach after a couple of years of coaching on your own in Minnesota and then, of course, broadcasting for Time Warner and for ESPN?
Well, coaching's in my blood. I wanted to get back into coaching, and this was a great opportunity for me. Mike came to me several weeks ago and asked me if I'd be interested in the job, and I jumped all over it. And from our initial conversation, he felt like, this was a no-brainer for him, this was a no-brainer for me, and this association we're hoping is going to be a very good one.
What is the biggest thing that you want to try to bring from a coaching perspective? And also along with that, what do you know about Mike from the past relationship that you've had with him in the coaching fraternity, and how do you think you guys might work together?
Mike and I have known each other for a long time. We've been to coaching clinics, we've been to camps together, so we've known each other for a long period of time. And anytime that you can talk to different coaches from different backgrounds, you're going to learn something new. I don't think there's a coach out there, I don't care who it is, that knows everything about the sport of basketball, so that you can always learn new things. And hopefully we can learn from each other, we can help each other out. My background is more at the defensive end, so the Lakers obviously had problems at the defensive end last year, so hopefully I can bring some ideas and some drills that can help them get on the same page and play a much more consistent game at that end of the floor.
And it was such a difficult season for a lot of reasons last year. Mike didn't get a chance to put his system in, but I know you guys are here in the summer trying to get ahead of the game a little bit going into training camp. Is that a fair way to look at it?
Oh, absolutely. It's always frustrating for any coach that doesn't have a training camp to implement the things that he wants to do and also get the mindset that he wants his players to have in terms of accepting how things are going to be different, their new roles on the team, just new style of play offensively and defensively. But I thought Mike did a great job last year. If you look from the third week in January to the end of the season, they were playing some very good basketball, very good playoff basketball. And they still weren't playing great in terms of looking at the talent that was out there on the floor. So you could see the potential that was there with the team. Unfortunately, Kobe went down at the end of the season, and it kind of squashed their playoff hopes. But from that third week in January, they were starting to play some good ball, and it was kind of about the time that you would start to see, okay, the guys are starting to figure things out, guys are getting healthier, things are starting to come together, and you could see the potential of that team. And hopefully having a training camp and getting everybody on the same page, and hopefully everybody will come back as healthy as possible, then we'll get on that page earlier, and then we'll have much more success at the beginning of the year.
All right, Kurt, the final thing for you now. This team is obviously going to be a different one from last season with Dwight going and with some of the new acquisitions that have come in. As you look at the roster and you talk about it with Mike and the rest of the coaching staff, what do you see right now as to what you guys can implement for the coming season?
Well, obviously there's still ifs. When you look at Kobe's injury, Powell's injury, Nash's health, those are big ifs that are going to have a big impact on the season. But when you look at the offensive capabilities of this team, when you look at Nick Young coming in, Wesley Johnson, Farmar, and Kaman, and how they can assimilate themselves with Kobe, Nash, and Powell, there's a lot of potential out there to be a very good offensive team. A lot of floor spacing will be there, guys that can create their own shot, inside play, outside play. So looking at it, if everything works out right offensively, it should be a good year for the Lakers, and now it's just getting offensive-oriented players to focus at the defensive end, and if they can find ways to get stops on a consistent basis, then the team will give themselves a chance to win.
All right, Kurt Rambis, I know a lot of people are happy to see you back in purple and gold. We appreciate the time, and we'll talk to you soon, I'm sure.
Thanks, my pleasure.